Well, I got my Opmid speedometer multimeter today. We're going to install it on the bike. Hope that everything goes well. Well, first we'll use a genuine JIS screwdriver. I think that's the correct term for it. To take the headlight off. And we'll remove the headlight cover. Pull that out of the way. The best way to get at that screw to take the bottom off the speedometer is by going through the hole in the back of the speedometer casing in order to get a straight shot into it. Getting this back cover off after taking the screw out was really difficult the first time. There's a slot here, one on the back side, and as you can see, there's little catches right there and right there, and it takes a lot of prying and pulling to get that loose. Now we've got two more screws to take out. And again, I'll use the trick of going up through the back of the headlight cover to get lined up with the second one. Now we've got to release the wiring harness. There, that was easy. Now we'll reconnect the connector. It snaps into place. Work the little rubber connector seal down around it. Put it into the little holes with the rubber grommets in them. Now we'll push this down. Okay, the three screws you took out of there are going to be reused. The black one, the first one you took out, will go up here. They won't fit in there with the washers on. Okay, that's mounted. Now it's time to replace the headlight. Cover and headlight. Those are shoulder bolts, and you do have to get that shoulder lined up in the hole or they won't go all the way in. New meter is on and bright. They said to check that the temperature was running. It's in centigrade. Hope I can change that. In neutral. When taking this side cover off, the right side, the hardest part on it are those two little tabs. They're actually slots. And boy, they don't want to let go at all. You've got to pull it away from it this way, but they don't want to pull away. Rocking it up and down, just be careful you don't break them off. The battery cover is the other hard one to get off, because on the right side there's this slotted one, and it needs to pull forward, but it's caught really good, and you got to wiggle it around and pull it forward. Those two things are really hard to get apart. And I just discovered that you don't have to take the headlight out and take the bucket off to get at this to install it. That was a step that was in the instructions to take this apart, take the headlight out, and then take the bucket off. But you've got the same amount of room around it with the headlight in. There's no reason to take that apart. This is the one that has to come off right here on your coil. And it's a lot easier to do if you take the bolt off of this side first, so you can pull it out and get your hand down in there. Here's the Kitco side stand disabler that I bought. We're going to try to put it on this while I've got this all apart, putting the Opmid meter on it. This little green connector is the one you take apart. And then this should insert into that, hopefully. In neutral, strike stamp down, put it in gear. Third gear. Second gear, first gear, neutral. This is the new speedometer that I installed on my CT125. It is so much better than the old Honda one. We have an ABS light, engine light, we got turn signal, we got high beam, neutral. We've got a red warning light here, turn signal, high beam, and then these across here are ranges that you can set for if you overspeed or over rev, you can get warning lights on that. This is your gear indicator up here. Of course, your tachometer, which our original one didn't have, or the gear indicator, mile per hour, fuel gauge down here. Got 3 buttons over here. They correspond to the 3 lines over here, top, middle, bottom line here. The top one is on odometer right now, and it did allow you to set the odometer on this for what your original speedometer was, and you can cycle through it with this button over here. The next one is trip A and trip B. I didn't think this had a trip B on it, but it does. And it's got your oil mileage when it's time to change the oil. Second one down is, it's on clock right now. You can get runtime. I'm not sure what that is. That may be how long the engine runs each time you take it out, and then it zeroes itself. And the next one is how many hours you have on your hour meter on the engine. That did not allow you to set that at your current hours you have on your engine, which right now I have about 33.4 hours. So I wish I could have reset that one to the proper hours. And back to clock. The bottom one is your temperature. You can program that to read either head temperature or oil temperature. And your voltage. And this is a maximum temperature. And I'm not sure at what point that will reach. I'm not sure why it's at 87.6. I may have left it at some factory setting. But, and I'm not sure why it lights up all this when it goes to the maximum temperature. And then back to head temperature or oil temperature again. This is definitely a big improvement over the original Honda one. This has got a lot more features on it, and you can adjust the brightness overall of this too. It's on number 5, the highest brightness right now, but I think I can tone it down a little bit and still see it a lot better than the old one.